New York Times admits Trump is popular with young voters. Majority prefer his policies. That's because the majority prefer not to be broke. That's why. The majority like money in their pockets, and they knew under Trump we had money in our pocket. And it's not like that under Biden. Everything is expensive. Um, Also, the culture is really messing heavy with Trump right now, and it's scaring the crap out of these leftists, and I love it. They're attacking black conservatives all over the place because they're so afraid that they're losing their base, they're losing the culture war right now. But we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. I added a new video I think like a few days ago, so check that out. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Gateway Pundit's Ben Q, and he reports that the New York Times has admitted that Donald Trump is increasingly popular with young voters and that many prefer his policies to those promoted by the Biden regime. In an article published this weekend, the left wing newspaper notes that its own polling has Trump and Biden tied neck and neck among young voters. Again, this is a leftist publication, contradicting the narrative that his appeal is solely among older voters, which again is not true. The culture is messing heavy with Trump. You go to the hood and you talk about Trump, people celebrate Trump. We see when Trump was driving by the hood, people was outside waving flags and stuff. Like it's nuts to see this, and the media is actually starting to admit this now. But the report states, although President Biden continues to lead among 18 to 29-year-olds in most polls, several surveys in recent weeks show Mr. Trump performing much more strongly with young voters than he has at the same point in 2020, and more strongly than he was against Miss Clinton at the same point in 2016. In the latest New York Times Siena College poll from last month, Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden were neck and neck among 18 to 29-year-olds. In the latest Harvard Youth poll conducted in March by the Harvard Institute of Politics, Mr. Trump trails by 8 points. Again, this is their leftist polls. However, the Times notes that this may not translate to electoral success for Trump because young voters tend not to vote in large numbers. Mr. Della Volpe and other pollsters note that these findings come with a wealth of caveats. Mr. Trump, relatively good standing with young voters, is at odds with their broadly liberal views on most issues, which have led them to favor Democratic candidates for decades. Again, the culture is definitely shifting right now because these leftist policies and these leftist ideals and stuff that they're pushing, people are like looking at like, wait a minute, this is crazy. We're going, it's wild. We have, they're changing definitions and stuff, and it's just, people are fed up with that. In polls like Harvard's, Mr. Biden performs much more strongly among registered or likely voters than he does in polls of all adults, suggesting that he is weakest with those least interested in the race. Young people, who are often late in following elections, appear to be especially disengaged from this year's race, a contest between two familiar candidates in their 70s and 80s. Meanwhile, young voters also far more likely to say they have benefited from Trump's policies, and the campaign is consequently hoping to capitalize on that trend. Still, the Trump campaign sees opportunity in the signs of shifts in demographic. Like, Trump legit believe he can get New York. I don't remember a Republican ever winning New York. But a stark gender divide has emerged in young people's politics in recent years, in which Republicans enjoy an advantage among young men. In a Times Siena poll in February, young voters were far more likely to say they were personally helped by Mr. Trump policies than Mr. Biden's, and far more likely to say they were personally hurt by Mr. Biden's than Mr. Trump's. Though in both cases, about half said neither president's policies had made much difference either way. According to the latest Real Clear Politics polling average, Trump holds a 1.3% lead over Biden, while this rises to 2.9% with third party candidates included. Again, this is why the left is terrified. This is why they're using lawfare to come after Trump, because they know that he is popular right now, and the only way to take him out is through lawfare and extrajudicial things, and try to do shenanigans like that to try to take Trump out. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.